Hi, this is Gailey Schoen at Upper Hands Piano, and I wanted to talk to you a little bit about how to invert chords. Chord inversions are really common, and they just give just a little bit of a different sound, and they also make it much easier to move between chords because instead of having to jump around all over the place with your left hand to play a C chord, an A chord, an F chord, a D chord, you can stay sort of in the same place. Here's a C, here's a G first inversion, back to the C, F second inversion, to a D, to a G second inversion, etc. So you could see that it's much smoother. Your hand isn't having to jump around all over the place. So there's a few different ways to figure out your inversions. I definitely spell it out in Upper Hands Piano Book 2, back here in Appendix 6, where I give you an exercise to learn your inversions. Here's the first one in C, and I'm going to show you how it goes. Here is a C major triad, and I played it broken, one at a time. Now to invert it, I'm going to take the bottom note, which is the C or the root, and I'm going to put it on the top, but I'm going to keep a hold of these two, so I'm going to go like this. The next part of the exercise is to just replace the middle note with your 5 finger, the top note with your 3 finger, and now there's a new top note, which was your bottom note, your C, now comes up to the top. So we're going to go like this. Now the bottom one goes to the top, and the bottom note's going to go to the top again. And then to complete the inversion, I'm going to take the bottom note and put it on the top again. And then in this exercise we come down also. So now we are going in the reverse order. So we're going to take the top note, put it on the bottom, top note, put it on the bottom, top note, put it on the bottom again. So going up, I did the chords broken, then I played them block, coming down. So these are all C chords, but this is a C chord in root position. This is the C chord in first inversion. Alright, by putting the C from the bottom to the top, it is now C in first inversion. Putting the bottom to the top again, that's now C in second inversion. If we invert it again, it's just a C in root position again, it's just an octave higher. Alright, so let's go down. So we've got root position of C. I'm going to put this top note on the bottom. That is our second inversion. In the second inversion, the root, in this case the C, is in the middle. Now I'm going to put the top note on the bottom, and this is the first inversion. In the first inversion, the root is always on the top. And then back to root position means the root is on the bottom. Let's try that in another key. Here we are in E flat. That's root position. Now I'm going to take the bottom note, put it onto the top. That is first inversion. Bottom note going to the top again. That is second inversion. And then I'm going to invert it once more to have it in root position once again, but an octave higher. To come back down, top note goes on the bottom, so my B flat is now going to be on the bottom. That is second inversion. Top note on the bottom, that is first inversion. And then top note on the bottom once more, and that's root position. In root position, the root is on the bottom. E flat is on the bottom. In first inversion, the root is on the top. E flat's on the top. And in second inversion, the root is in the middle. The E flat is in the middle. Similarly, you can do the same thing with a minor chord. Let's do D. That's a D minor triad. Now first inversion of a D minor triad, I'm going to take the D, put it on the top. That is first inversion. Second inversion, I'm going to put the F on the top. And then to go back to root position but an octave higher, I'm going to take the A, put that on the top. And that's root position, second inversion, first inversion, back to root position. I wanted to also talk about what it looks like in terms of being notated in your music. When you've got the first inversion, then you will see that it's, let's say, for example, a C chord. First inversion will be a C with a slash and then an E to the right of the slash. Whatever note is to the right of the slash, that is to be played at the bottom of the chord. So if it's just in root position, there's no slash. It's just a C chord. If you want to play it in first inversion, that means that the C came from the bottom to the top, and I would now call this a C/E, which means it's a C chord, but E is at the bottom of it. If I invert it again, this is going to be a C chord, so C/G. So the G will be to the right of inversion. You can see that right here. Root position, first inversion is C/E. Second inversion is C/G. Musicians also call this G over B. That means it's a G chord with B at the bottom of it. G over D. That's a G chord with a D at the bottom. And here we go, a D/A means it's a D chord, but A is at the bottom. So I'm going to take that A, put that at the bottom. Alright, over here, it's a D/F sharp, or D over F sharp. So I'm going to take a D chord, and then make sure that F sharp's on the bottom of it, so I'm going to move the D up to the top. Alright, hope that makes sense. Keep watching the video until it makes sense and you can find them on your own. Alright, thanks for watching. Bye!